Page 2, Get Away. It's sort of a review piece, I think, from the last book or whatever. It's kind of a fun piece to play to get started before we start learning new stuff. It could be a bit of a challenge, so let's take a look. Now, I have a set process I go through when I learn a new piece of music. Most everybody does, and you'll have your own process. You develop your own. I sometimes call it my process. It's not my process. It doesn't belong to anybody. It's just the process that I use. But first, I look it over. I want a general idea of how long it is, about 1.5 pages long. I like to check the clef signs because you never know. They're not always going to be treble and bass, so just get in the habit of checking. Treble and bass to start. Now, they can change in the middle of a piece. So don't worry about that. The treble and bass to start. 4/4 time signature. So it's 4 counts in a measure, and a quarter note's getting a count. And I see a bunch of quarter notes and eighth notes and dotted half notes. Hopefully, we can handle that kind of rhythm. And there's an occasional sharp sign, so we have to deal with that. I'm going to take it one hand at a time, make sure I understand what each hand is doing, and then I'm going to try to put the hands together. Right hand, you're starting with thumb on middle C here. That puts the hand here. And it's 1, 2, 3, rest. And then the next measure, 4 and. 4 and 1, and then the end of the second line. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and... Yeah, let's look at the third line, first measure. It's a half note tied to an eighth note. 1 and 2 and 3 and. And if you can't get it, take out the tie and play all the notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, because that's what it is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When you have an idea of that, you put the tie, you just hang on to it, is all. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the next measure is an E and a G together. 1, 2, 3. And then you got to keep going because the beat has to be a steady beat. So again, third line, second measure going on. 1, 2, 3. And now on second finger, just crunch up the changed hand positions right there. Now we did it by sort of walking up. We do that sometimes. We crawl around on the keyboard. Yeah, I do that a lot. I like to feel my way around the keyboard, and I can do that when I can crawl around. If I have to lift up and move, I can't feel that so much. I don't know, where did I go? But when I'm just doing this, I can feel that up one. So again, second measure of that line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... do that. So let's go to the second line, last measure on page 3. 1. Now we have an F with a sharp sign in front of it. So instead of the F, I'm going to do an F sharp. I'm going to use the same finger on each as for the F sharp. So it's so forth. And then the next line, when you play, you got to come back down here. And you can reach down if you want. You don't have to lift and move. Either way works. I like to crawl around, so I usually come here. Left hand, let's see what we got. Fourth finger on G, here. It's 4 and 1. We're coming in on beat 4. That means the other 3 beats should be someplace. If you look at the end, at the bottom of page 3, there's 3 counts in that measure. So that's beats 1, 2, and 3. This is beat 4. 4 and 1. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and rest 2, 3. Rest. Third line, you have a G and a B together. 1, 2, 3, rest. And during the rest, we come up 1 key here, so that hand moves up from here to here. So we're kind of in this position. So the last measure on page 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. And we're staying there until the third line on page 3. We have a dotted half note. And then they want 4 here. And you can do that. You can just lift up. We can do that. There's a better fingering, but it's a little more advanced. We got enough to do with this. Let's just go here. Here, and then reach down. Because now we went back down. So then I put the hands together, and I'll hesitate, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. We're here to start. I don't really worry about the name of the position or anything that I'm in. I just go where the music tells me to go. But the book seems to think it's important. So you're starting out middle C, and a little bit later you're going to go to a middle D. Isn't that nice? Doesn't help any as far as I'm concerned, but okay, now you know. At the beginning, left hand, 4 and 1. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right hand, 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's really all we're doing. That melody's going back and forth between the hands. At the third line, you got to hold this down as you're doing that. We need to be accurate here. That's going on until beat 3 and then and. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. It comes up on beat 4. Well, that means this is down when you play this. And then I hold that down as I play that. But I lift up the left hand when I do the E. Because that's beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Hold this left hand down to the right. Don't lift up. See, that's incorrect. Please don't do that. Oh, you'll think, big deal. Yes, it is actually, because when the music gets more difficult and things get involved, it really matters. So here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and scrunch up. And as you're doing this, the left hand's got to come up. Let's go over to page 3, second line at the end. Last measure, second line here. And here, and here. There, you got to coordinate this one, and these. Now hold the left hand down. And now we're going to move the left hand back down. Just lift and move a little bit. Back to what you were doing at the beginning. Because the right hand's going to come down too. So now we're back to this middle C position. So once you put the hands together, then I'll go through it slowly and get rid of any hesitations. So it's a steady beat. I'll speed it up later. Right now, no hesitations. And then I think about the articulation. Connect this pretty much except for the staccatos, and the staccatos hinge at the wrist and they're short. So this is. So you can't connect those. So just play them. Not real short. Don't mean it, does it? Yeah. So I add in the staccatos and the slurs and stuff like that. And then I add the dynamics. P at the beginning, it's melody, if you can do it. It's all melody here, soft, whatever you think soft is. Now, into the second line, you get the hairpin to come up. Come up to about a moderately softer so, and stay there. Now, I'm going to challenge you a little bit. I don't know how much you're struggling. But last line on page 2, second measure. Can you play this sort of loud, sort of heavy, and this soft at the same time? Don't play them the same. This is melody. That's melody. That's what we want to hear. This is in the background. It's like the first measure here. Well, this, can you play that soft? It takes a while to get used to that. I struggled with it for quite a while, and eventually it does come if you'll just keep at it. The melody is what we want to hear. Everything else has to be background singers. So in the first measure, the third line here, that's melody. This needs to be soft. Soft. And then now we're loud. And that's this. This in the background. See, it's weird because now you're heavier in one hand than the other, and it switches back and forth. And that takes time to get. A lot of teachers won't even teach that at this level. They say, don't worry about it, just play it. And if you're really struggling with this, then yes, don't worry about it, just play it. But if you're getting it, I want to lead you into a little more advanced stuff to prepare you, because later on, when they do finally get around to it, I mean, the music's going to be a lot more difficult. So now you got to deal with that in addition to this. So let's, if you can, do this now. It's called Bring Out the Melody. We want to hear the melody. So at the bottom there, after the double bars, the little double bars, that's loud. It's heavy. This, light at the same time. Heavy, light at the same time. So that's melody there. It's got to come out. Yeah, and then page 3, third line down. And now you're soft, like you were at the beginning. So you put in the dynamics, and then we think about the speed. Allegro means quick. It needs to be accurate. Well, and now I'm flexing here at the wrist here on that. Just a little motion here. Don't use the arm. It's soft. However, keep in mind it needs to be accurate. So your Allegro, I don't know. I mean, if that's your Allegro, that's fine for now. So everybody will be a little different. Now they've added pedal. You don't need pedal in this. You can do it just fine without. But they've added it, so let's talk about it. As if it's not complicated enough. On page 2 at the bottom, last line, you see under the stabs, they get the pedal marking, where line comes down, push the pedal down. Line goes across, hold the pedal down. And line comes up, let the pedal up. Those down and ups are not exactly where they go. That's where the teacher comes in. So in the third line, we're here, foot's on the pedal, and you push the half note down first, and then the pedal. Yeah, don't push them down together. No, I want to start the sound before I do the overtones. And then I'm going to hold it down. Actually, I'm going to hold it down and lift the pedal with the left hand here. So when the left hand comes up, so does the pedal. And next measure, it's push the note down first and then the pedal. And lift the pedal with the hands. Now, on page 3, at the end of the first line, they want this pedaled. I don't know why. Here, because they're eighth notes and they go quick, you're going to have to push the pedal down with the first note and hold it down. And the second line at the end of the line, right after I play the third beat, I lift the pedal up. Right there. After I play it. Right there. Don't know why they are. All right. And then at the end again, it's like the bottom of page 2, same thing. Note first, then the pedal. Lift the pedal with the left hand. And then here, note first, then the pedal. And then you lift everything together. And the fermata, you just hold that out as long as you think it should be held out. If I do it with a metronome, I'll just hold the quarter note 2 beats instead of 1 and forget it. And that's basically the pedal. I think it sounds better without pedal, but I don't know if you want to use pedal, do. If you prefer not to, I think that's wonderful. Don't. Let's play this together slowly to check the notes and the rhythms. And I'm not going to do the louds and softs. We're not performing it. I will do the pedaling so you can see it again. I'll give us 3 counts because we come in on beat 4. 1 and ready and go and.